touring since I was 16.
Yeah, and they just like want to up the youth. It's so bad. It's so crazy.
You know what I saw today?
What?
Which was so crazy. It was like, I mean, maybe it wasn't that crazy, but it's like huge vape store. On the window, it said student discount, like something like 25% student discount. I'm like, that's horrible.
That's how I know I'm really frontal lobing too, because I'm just like,
excuse me, how are we surprised? Did y'all forget about the Mindy drama? Did y'all forget when Tana literally got on her full ass YouTube and made a video exposing Brooke to filth, and then Brooke made a response video and it literally broke the internet?
FBI just raided Tana Mongeau's penthouse in Beverly Hills. For months, federal agents had been quietly monitoring her movements, tracking her social media posts while she flaunted luxury handbags, designer heels, and clips from chaotic all-night parties. On the surface, she seemed like just another influencer, famous for her podcast drama, messy relationships, and wild brand deals. But investigators say there was something much bigger going on behind the scenes. The footage shows smashed electronics, luxury packaging being hauled out, and a rumor spreading fast that agents recovered an encrypted phone, possibly tied to secret accounts. Now, TikTok is flooded with edits, reaction videos, and wild theories, and everyone's asking the same question. Was it all just marketing or something much more serious?
I'm gonna have to bring in every time. I can't do this with Brooke. I can't do it with someone yelling at me. I can't have nobody fucking yelling at you. I made a joke about your tour. Brooke, I called you and you were yelling at me about the money. Also, all day in my mood, you have been kind of picking at me.
And basically Tana's video was about how she really liked this guy and like they had slept together, and then Brooke went and slept with that same guy and then slept with the man in Tana's house.
I'm finally at the point where I'm so mad at myself. We talked about this in an episode, so I'll keep it whatever. But I need to make a lot of decisions for my physical health and mental health and life and future, and I'm just like, geez Louise.
I just thought that was so crazy. I'm like, that's like having like a senior discount at the vape store. It's like, what the hell do you mean?
Yeah, and they just like want to up the youth. It's so bad. It's so crazy.
I can't choose where it's at. I'm gonna show up and do my job, which is to meet and greet and be on the stage. You meet and greet, you know. I think I hate everyone. I definitely hate you. Yeah. I'm just kidding. I thought it was funny to fight.
The way everyone's like, oh my god, Brooke and Tana are fighting. Brooke and Tana are fighting. Oh my god, I'm so shook.
According to leaked documents, Tana may have been involved in a complex crypto pump and dump scheme. It involved multiple hidden wallets, anonymous transactions, and shady promotional deals disguised as collaborations. The final trigger? A TikTok, now deleted, where she celebrated a sponsored win, wearing a $40,000 Chanel outfit. Hours later, the same coin she promoted tanked, wiping out thousands of small investors. At exactly 6:42 a.m., building security cameras captured federal agents entering with a search warrant. Tana wasn't there, but neighbors recorded everything.
Welcome back, you guys. And today we seriously have to talk about Brooke Schofield because things just got even messier. And I mean, like, TikTok is already chewing this whole thing up. So unless you've been totally off-grid, Brooke just officially confirmed her engagement to Miles Canton, and instead of congratulations flooding her feed, the internet is dragging her back into one of her biggest controversies. Yup. The exact same story that nearly blew up her entire comment section last year is now front and center again, and this time it's tied to a ring. So what's going on? Why are people saying Brooke is ignoring red flags? And why is there suddenly this whole back and forth going down between her and a TikToker who says she's defending a man with a questionable past? We're going to get into all of it. The engagement photos that started it all, the seriously uncomfortable resurfaced allegations about her fiancé, Brooke's clapbacks that she now regrets, and the wild twist that turned hate comments into flirty replies. Yes, that's actually a thing. But we're not stopping there, because on top of all this drama,
Brooke Schofield is no longer part of the canceled podcast for what appears to be an indefinite amount of time. Here is everything that we know so far. This is Brooke Schofield. She is a famous influencer who has been in the news a lot this past week after some of her...
Fans are also convinced Brooke and Tana Mongeau aren't even friends anymore, despite what their podcast might be selling. And now there's speculation the whole canceled era is coming to a bitter end. Like, this isn't just about a relationship anymore. This is turning into Brooke versus the internet, again. So buckle up because there's a lot to unpack, and the internet is not holding back on this one. From engagement glow to chaotic backlash, let's get into the full timeline of Brooke Schofield's latest controversy. And yeah, the tea is still steaming. So let's start with the moment that lit the match. Brooke Schofield's engagement post. On June 26th, she officially shared that she was engaged to Miles Canton, aka Miles McFly, during what she called their engagement moon in Cabo. The photos? Definitely romantic. Brooke smiling ear to ear, a ring on full display, and beachside vibes that screamed love story. But what should have been a celebratory moment instantly turned into a social media storm. Because here's the thing, fans hadn't forgotten about who Miles is. Or more accurately, who he allegedly was before Brooke came into the picture.
Horrific, horrible, racist tweets have resurfaced. Here are just some of them if you want to pause and see them. So Brooke is part of a very popular podcast called Canceled, which she co-hosts with Tana Mongeau. Tana has finally spoken about the situation publicly and has shared what the podcast is going to look like for the time being.
And within minutes, comment sections weren't gushing over the ring. They were dragging out receipts. Again, now, for those who don't know, Miles Canton isn't just any influencer boyfriend. He's the son of Back to the Future producer Neil Canton, and he's got connections to Hollywood royalty. We're talking about being spotted around people like Kendall Jenner and Sophia Richie. But what has people raising eyebrows isn't his A-list access. It's the past allegations that suggest Miles, then in his late 20s, was romantically involved with a girl named Isabella, who was reportedly still in high school at the time. And these rumors didn't come out of nowhere. They've been lingering since last year, after a TikTok creator named Becca posted a viral deep dive showing photos, old Ask.fm posts, and Instagram comments that strongly implied a relationship. There were even bed selfies and fan pages treating them like a full-on couple. The timing and the visuals made a lot of people feel really uncomfortable, and they started calling Miles out publicly, which of course meant Brooke got dragged right along with it. Brooke, for her part, responded last year by saying the whole thing was fake. She claimed the Ask FM account wasn't even real, and insisted that fans of that friend group had been cosplaying online, posting fake content that made it look like Miles and Isabella were a thing. She was pretty firm about it too, basically saying the internet needed to calm down and stop believing everything they see.
First, Tana shared that she personally made the decision for Brooke to not be a part of the podcast. And she shared that she condemns every single tweet that Brooke shared from her past. She also apologized for initially forgiving Brooke in the comments of one of Brooke's apology videos. So for now, it looks like Tana and her assistant Paige are going to be co-hosting the Canceled podcast.
But now that the ring is officially on her finger, the story's back. Louder, messier, and with even more people jumping in. And Brooke? She didn't stay silent. So, once the internet reignited the Miles controversy, Brooke didn't just scroll past it, she responded. And it got messy really fast. Enter TikToker Ashlyn, someone who didn't hold back at all. Ashlyn posted a TikTok dragging Brooke, calling her out for defending someone with a predatory past and making bold claims about Brooke's mental health, saying this entire engagement was classic love bombing. And then she took it even further by referencing Brooke's previously shared struggles with BPD, borderline personality disorder, saying this relationship was textbook self-sabotage. The video went viral within hours. And Brooke? She saw it. She commented under the video. And let's just say her response wasn't exactly calm and collected. She clapped back hard, defending Miles, her engagement, and herself. But what got people talking wasn't just the defense. It was the part where she shaded Ashlyn's appearance, specifically saying something like, "You can't talk about me with bangs like that." Oof, the internet lives for this kind of petty comeback. And while some fans were like, "Yes, queen, drag her," the majority were not impressed. Especially when Brooke had previously spoken about wanting to be above all the online hate.
You know what I saw today?
What?
Which was so crazy. It was like, I mean, maybe it wasn't that crazy, but it's like huge vape store. On the window, it said, student discount, like something like 25% student discount. I'm like, that's horrible.
That's how I know I'm really frontal lobing too, because I'm just like, I'm finally at the point where I'm so mad at myself.
She ended up deleting the comment, but it was too late. People had already screen recorded everything. And now the narrative had shifted. Brooke wasn't just a fiancé defending her man. She was now being labeled a mean girl, defensive, and unhinged, all over again. Then Brooke tried to do some cleanup. She posted a TikTok of her own, explaining why she reacted that way. She admitted to feeling overwhelmed and said that thousands of people comment on her looks every day, calling her uncanny, criticizing her face, her weight, and yes, even calling out the fact that she's marrying a bald guy. She basically said, "I finally snapped." And she wanted people to know she's human. She also pushed back hard against the mental health narrative, saying, "Just because I have BPD doesn't mean I can't make healthy human decisions." And in that moment, you could tell. She meant it. She was emotional, vulnerable, and honestly, exhausted. But the drama, it didn't stop there. Because what happened next completely flipped the script in the weirdest way possible. So here's where things took a bizarre turn. And I mean, the internet did not know how to process this one. After Brooke's emotional video and the whole Bangs comment blow-up, most people were expecting round 2 of the feud. But instead, TikToker Ashlyn came back with a response that no one, and I mean no one, expected. In her follow-up video, Ashlyn basically pulled a full 180. She admitted that, yeah, the original video was harsh, and no, it wasn't the nicest delivery. But then she explained why she posted it in the first place.
We talked about this in an episode, so I'll keep it whatever. But I need to make a lot of decisions for my physical health and mental health and life and future. And I'm just like, geez Louise.
God, I just thought that was so crazy. I'm like, that's like having like a senior discount at the vape store. It's like, what the hell do you mean?
And her answer, she needed the views. Like literally, she said she was behind on bills, TikTok pays more than her job, and this was an easy topic that people would care about. It was blunt, it was real, and kind of weirdly refreshing, but she didn't stop there. After breaking down why she felt triggered by Brooke's relationship, especially as someone who also struggles with BPD, she suddenly ended the video with a joke. A flirty joke. She said something like, "Brooke, I know you don't like my bangs or my eyebrows, but I still think you're hot. Want to make out and call it enemies to lovers?" Like, what? And Brooke? She replied, not angrily, not with shade, but with flirtation right back. She commented, "Okay, fine. They eat. I accept," and then followed up with, "Stop tagging me. I already said I accept." The whole vibe just shifted in real time. TikTok was like, wait, did we just go from dragging each other to online flirting? People in the comments were living for it, calling it the slowest burn internet romance, and joking that they should actually collab on content now. And while some fans found it funny and even kind of wholesome, others weren't buying it. They thought Brooke was just trying to control the narrative and soften the backlash.
Love bomb quick?
No, not love bombing at all, but
I noticed something with me, like at least growing up with my parents at a young age, I always felt like I really had to fight for their love and fight for their attention. So I noticed myself carrying that into relationships.
Still, no one can deny it. The tension turned into something weirdly lighthearted for a minute, which might have been a smart move on Brooke's part, considering how intense things had been the day before. But just as things started cooling down, another issue bubbled right back up. And this one had nothing to do with her fiancé. So, while Brooke was busy dealing with the engagement fallout, another storm was brewing, one that's been quietly building behind the scenes. Fans are now revisiting older controversies from Brooke's past, and at the same time, questioning whether her friendship with Tana Mongeau is completely fake or officially over. Let's start with the resurfaced drama. People didn't forget that Brooke had previously come under fire for her alleged racially insensitive tweets, which critics said she never truly addressed or apologized for in a meaningful way. That controversy got buried when her podcast Cancelled took off. But now that she's back in the spotlight, those tweets are making the rounds again. And the comments are harsh, with users saying things like, "Brooke, you never owned up to this, and now you want sympathy?" It's a reminder that the internet never really forgets. And when you're under fire, everything comes back, even if it's years old. But the drama doesn't stop there, because as Brooke's engagement took over headlines, so did a new wave of speculation about her relationship with Tana Mongeau. Fans have been watching closely ever since their Cancelled podcast started slowing down. And now that it's confirmed the podcast is ending, people are convinced that these two aren't even friends anymore. Why? Well, the energy's been off, no birthday posts, no supportive DMS, no casual shoutouts, just silence.
Like I would only be, I only felt like a relationship was fulfilling or love was true if I had to fight for it. Mm-hmm. And do you, could you see yourself in that sentiment?
Yeah, of course. If you look at my track record, it's always that. It's always the need for love from somebody who is not giving it to me.
And when they do appear together, it feels awkward. The recent episode where they sat down with Amari was meant to squash rumors, but honestly, it kind of did the opposite. Amari tried to say that people were just jumping to conclusions and creating drama where there wasn't any. But then he also admitted that the tension between them was all over his For You page. So we're all imagining it? Some fans pointed out that even if they are contractually obligated to finish out the podcast, it doesn't mean the friendship is real behind the scenes. And considering how public Tana usually is with her relationships, the silence has been loud. Whether it's Brooke's fiancé, her past, or her friendships, everything around her right now is being questioned. And that puts her in a tough spot because with all eyes on her, every move she makes is either clowned or dissected. So now that the dust is sorta settling, or at least shifting, the big question is, what comes next for Brooke Schofield? Because let's be honest, this engagement was supposed to be her soft launch into a new chapter. Something happy, something stable, something different. And for a second, it really did feel like she was finally getting her piece. But instead, the spotlight turned right back into a magnifying glass, and every single part of her life, from her fiancé's history to her old tweets to her friendships, got dragged out and analyzed. Now, some fans are standing by her. They're saying she's grown, that she's allowed to move on, and that people need to stop weaponizing her mental health or past traumas. They point to her transparency about BPD, her willingness to talk about past toxic relationships, and the fact that, in their eyes, she finally seems happy. They say, let her live. But others aren't so quick to forgive, especially when it comes to Miles. The skepticism around him hasn't gone away. In fact, it's only gotten louder since the engagement announcement. And for a lot of viewers, this doesn't feel like just gossip anymore. It feels like a pattern they've seen play out online way too many times. Love bombing, denial, then silence. People are watching closely to see if this turns into another cautionary tale. And then there's the bigger question. Can Brooke continue to build her career in this climate? With the canceled podcast ending, her public friendships looking shaky, and controversy following her at every turn, it's not clear what her next move will be. Will she rebrand, take a break, or lean into the chaos and use it to her advantage? If there's one thing we've seen from Brooke, it's that she's not afraid to speak up, even when it backfires, and even when people tell her to log off. But now every post feels like a risk. Every comment sparks a new headline, and whether she likes it or not, the internet is fully tuned in. So is Brooke just in the middle of a messy moment that she'll come back from stronger? Or are we watching a very public unraveling, one post at a time? Let us know what you think down below, because something tells me this story isn't over yet. All right, that's all for now. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next one.